Hi everyone, I'm Liz Sheehan, 5th District Council member here in Lexington, and I'm here at AVOL with the Executive Director, John Parker, to talk a little bit about what they do here. So John, let's get started on, tell us a little bit about AVOL, the mission of the organization.
Great, thank you, and thank you for having us. We have been in this community for well over 35 years. We started out as the AIDS Service Organization of Lexington, and over time we've evolved, but our primary mission has been services to people living with HIV and HIV prevention and testing. And now we've continued to add all kinds of creative programs and expand our services a little bit because, you know, the services we provide for somebody living with HIV is certainly applicable to someone who has another type of medical condition. So we focus on housing, creating housing opportunities for people living with HIV and other medical vulnerabilities. The facility that we're in right now is a new community center that is on the site of our newest apartment complex called Stonewall Terrace, 26 apartments, and it's really great to be able to kind of live at the same spot and work at the same spot where people are living, and they can access help with us all the time, and you know, anything they need, we're here for them.
Yeah, and you have this center, and the Stonewall units it's beautiful. Like we've kind of walked around here a little bit, and we were here for a ribbon cutting. But how long has it been? A year and a half?
So we moved into Stonewall about a year and a half ago, and it was a project that took about 5 years to come to fruition. LFUCG was a huge partner on this, and we're so grateful for that. Kentucky Housing Corporation, Winterwood Incorporated, and it took a while. The building happened during the COVID pandemic, so in a way that was good because we had a little bit of time to shift over to the development. Of course, the costs went up, you know, exponentially during that time as well. So it was challenging, but when the doors opened, the people moved in, and we have not had a vacancy here since. I mean, we have a waiting list, so we're glad people like to be here.
Yeah, and it seems like the people who live here are very connected to the space, and you provide a lot of services and community for folks. So could you talk a little bit more about the services that AVOL provides?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we were created by the LGBT community to serve everyone, and so that's kind of a legacy for us, is to being able to have that type of contribution made by the LGBT community. This is our pride horse that was gifted to us from Lex Arts, and we have a lot of people come through our doors who really know that this is a safe space.
And she's dressed with a ribbon.
And we have a red ribbon, absolutely. But this is a safe space where they can come together, they can socialize, they can learn, access resources. Every month we have empowerment luncheons where people come, we serve a nice meal, and they learn something about health and are able to connect with, you know, other services in the community. We call that an education center, but for many people, that's the only social outlet they may have in the course of a month. So we really feel like it serves that type of socialization purpose as well. We do a lot of HIV testing and STI, sexually transmitted infection testing, and that's really important because someone who has a STI, it's an indicator that they potentially could have been exposed to HIV. And so if you have an STI read positive, we do need to do an HIV test as well. So we're a full stop service for that. And then there's this new medication out. It's not new. It's actually been around about 10 years now, but it's called, it's referred to as PrEP, but that's a once-a-day pill that people take, and it prevents HIV infection. And we're able to connect people now through a telehealth partnership that we have with a company called QCare to be able to provide access to the doctor and the labs, and then get the prescriptions mail order to your home. And it's really a game changer for us to be able to provide that level of service. And really, you know, if you're really talking about ending HIV, you're talking about really quality services for people living with HIV, because the more they stay compliant with their medication, the less virus they carry, and they can't give it to other people if they're well, you know, it's called viral suppression, if they're very well virally suppressed. So that's the one half, but the other half is the PrEP, and for people who are not living with HIV, putting that extra barrier or protection there, we've really come a long way. There's no reason we can't end HIV. Yeah. So our mission is to just keep spreading that word.
Yeah, it's amazing work you're doing. You encompass so much just within your organization. You're talking about housing and healthcare and social supports. There's so much. So it's great.
We're small and mighty. I was looking the other day. I've been here 10 years, and in the course of 10 years, we have not added any additional staff. We have 9 people that work here, and we just seem to get it done. And so that's, surely someday we're going to need to add people, but right now, I mean, we just are able to really do a lot because we have so much collaboration with the community and so many good relationships to be able to do the handoff. We know if you have to leave here to go have a service in another agency, we know and we trust the other community agencies as well, and being able to kind of help people navigate that is more and more becoming what we're able to do.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to find out more about AVOL, to either be a supporter and maybe make a donation, or if they want to access services, how do they find out more information?
Our website is avolky.org, and out there you'll see all of the services we have to offer. You'll see information about our apartments, Stonewall Terrace. We have another small apartment building down on South Lexington called Solomon House. And then you'll be able to see any information about HIV testing, PrEP, all the services we provide. Our volunteer program is called Community Health Educators, and so we actually help train people so that they can help represent us out in the community. So it might be a health fair or something like that. We'll give you the AVOL t-shirt and all the supplies you need to be able to help us represent, so we can be in many places at one time. Yeah. And then, we have big events throughout the entire year. Our Dining Out for Life is coming up. We're very excited about that, always in September. Just anything more, we try to keep the blog up to date, and any new information about medical issues, HIV, accessing care, we try to keep that up to date as well.
Yeah, great. And I see your organization tabling at different events throughout in the community, so I know you're always working to kind of get the word out. So thank you for all that you do here, and to AVOL in general.
Thank you for your support as well.
Yeah. So I'm here with Anthony Smallwood. Tell me your title one more time.
I'm the Resource Development Manager at AVOL.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to talk about some of the programming that you oversee, one of those things being Dine Out for Life.
That is our major focus right now. We are doing so much. Everything we are doing is working toward this event. I love my title here because I get to do the event planning, and I'm kind of the big mouth, out there just promoting what we do. But Dining Out for Life is very passionate for all of us at AVOL. We do this every year. It's in September, one of the Thursdays in September, and it's just the easiest way in the world that the public can donate to AVOL. They go out to eat at one of the restaurants on our list, and just by being there, 25% of everything they spend gets donated back to us. And then we have folks in each restaurant that we refer to as an ambassador, and they are there to facilitate any additional donations that people want to make. And so it's our biggest fundraiser of the year, and we love it. But it's not just a fundraiser, it really puts us out there in the entire community. And let's face it, we're from Kentucky. We love food. What better way to get awareness about who we are and what we do than to have people seated at a table, and we get to share who we are and what we do with them while they're eating food. So it's really our favorite event every year.
Yeah, and I've been an ambassador in the past, and it is nice. You go up to each table, you just tell them a little bit about AVOL and tell them how they can get involved. So it's a community kind of event where you get to spread information and just raise awareness about your organization. So tell me a little bit about, or tell our audience a little bit about how someone becomes an ambassador.
Well, that's a great question. We always need ambassadors because this year we have 54 participating restaurants. Now remember, some of those restaurants are participating in lunch and dinner. So do the math. One ambassador's not there the entire day. So in some instances, we end up managing almost or sometimes over 100 volunteers that day. So it's a big deal. All they have to do is reach out to me and have the passion to share who we are and what we do. But reach out to me and we can get everyone trained. I tell people it's the easiest way in the world to volunteer because It's the most fun thing to do. You're having a dinner party, essentially. You invite all your friends, coworkers, everybody. You don't have to pay for the food. You don't have to wash the dishes. And everyone just comes and has a wonderful night, and part of what they're spending comes back to us. But the ambassador, once we've got them trained, their most important role is to invite people to the restaurant. It's one thing to be there and be present to facilitate donations, but make it a party, make it fun. Invite your people to come and be there while you are there. And then it just becomes one big party, and oh yeah, it's a fundraiser too.
Yeah, and so if you are someone who's affiliated with a restaurant, what does this look like from the restaurant side of things?
From the restaurant side of things, it's a big ask because restaurants, the profit margins are not always huge with a lot of restaurants. So for us to go in and say, will you donate 25% of what you're taking in that day, that's a big ask. So we never take that for granted. We know that when they sign on, they truly are committed and passionate about who we are and what we do. But we've got some of the most amazing restaurant partners. Weta Michael, I can't go through the whole list, but Weta Michael this year is all in. She's got all 6 of her restaurants signed in. And we've got some new ones this year. The folks at Lost Palm and Grand Am, they're at the Manchester. They are all in for the event this year. It's their first time to be involved with this. So and then we've got our standbys. We've got 3rd Street stuff that's always the first one to sign on. Pat over there is wonderful, and she's like, yes, of course. And I think she's been doing it probably longer than anybody else in our community.
And in my district, we have Liberty Cafe.
You have Liberty Cafe, yes, you do. Yeah. That's right. That's where you were last year, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So of course we love Selma and Sheldon over there. So yeah. It's great. But yeah, it's a fun day. It's an exhausting day for John and I because we are out all day long from early morning till late at night, going from restaurant to restaurant just to make sure that they feel the love and that everything's going smoothly. We don't want our restaurants to have to worry about a thing. It's business as usual. Between us and our ambassadors, we've got the other part covered.
Okay, so for 2024, even though it's always happening in September, but for 2024, tell us the date.
It's going to be Thursday, September 19th, and it is always on a Thursday, and it's always in September, but this year it's September 19th. And it's all day. It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we have, if they go to our website, dineoutlex.com, DINEOUTLEX.com, dineoutlex.com. You'll get a complete list. All 54 restaurants are there and the times that they are participating. I tell people every year, make sure you check the list before you go out to eat or make reservations, because every year someone says, oh, I went to so-and-so and we spent $300. And I'm like, well, that's really good, but that wasn't on the list, and so we're not going to get a dime of that. You just messed up. But thanks for telling me. So definitely check the list on Dine Out Lex. And while they're there, if they can't go out or if they're going to be out of town or something, they can click on the donate button right there, and they can still support us even if they don't have the time, or if someone's not even from Lexington, but they know about Lexington and know about our event, they can click and donate.
Yeah, great. So thank you so much for giving us all that information. And I hope I see you all out at Dine Out for Lex, and go to the website. There are a ton of great restaurants. So as a reminder, breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you can participate to help support AVOL and all of the things that they do for our community. Thank you.